So it is Friday afternoon, and the reason why I'm up here on Friday afternoon is because I haven't got much time over the weekend. In fact, I'm going up to Berlin for the weekend, and it means unless I do anything now, I won't have much time to do stuff, and it's getting to be a really exciting stage of the project. So, as you know from last weekend, I managed to get the majority of the rear end buttoned up. Got a couple of things to do, such as fix these pipes to the PSE, the exhaust, and then I'm pretty much done at the back. I've got to get the rear caliper on, tighten up the brake lines, and then I'm done. So the next step is the front of the car, which is really exciting because I now have my custom made parts for the power steering back from the platers. So I think that's the first time you've seen them in all their glory. That's the pipe that gets connected to the front. I've got two of these, a 12mm and I've forgotten, 8mm I think. So I can connect up the power steering line, and that allows me to button up the front end. It won't happen all at once, but it certainly is the next step. So this is what I've been waiting for, so it's really exciting. Okay guys, so I've just offered it all up to the car just to make sure this pipe is the right length, although I actually know it is. Measured twice, cut once. So I'm just tightening the pipe to the fitting now. So the fitting is 17mm at the top, and is it 13? 17 and 14. So tightening this up then, finally. You got on there nicely? Thank you. Lovely. Good. I don't know how tight you're supposed to tighten that up, but that's pretty tight, I would say. I don't want to distort anything, but I also need to know that it's on there properly. Yep. Okay. Take the tape off and I shall show you. So, that is now on there. Very cool. Now I've just got to put the O-rings on. Okay, so it goes on there first. It goes over there like that. Okay. Oh, you won't believe how long it's taken to get to this point. It's phenomenal. I'm so pleased with this. Right, let's go and install it in the car. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a view of what I'm doing. So this needs to go into there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some assembly lube on there, just so it will come out again in a few years' time. See if I can get to it. You probably won't see it now because I brought it back here, but let's just make sure. I don't want to interfere with the O-ring, but I definitely want to get enough on there so that no grime or water or anything goes down in there, because that's the biggest issue with this steering rack, or these couplings on the steering rack, is that they just fuse to the alloy housing. Beautiful. That's probably way too much, but that suits me. Right. Okay, so I've just lubed up the other one. We're going to put that one in first. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Pretty tight. And that one goes in more easily than the other one, I must admit. Why isn't that going? Okay, I managed to get that in there, like wobbling it in. I'm just putting this retaining plate on. Slide that over. Talk that up in a minute. Okay, so the fluid lines, or the hydraulic lines to the rack, let me see if I can get this in there actually, which I can't, is 30 Newton meters. I'm going to have to get to it some other way. Bit wonky getting there, but let's try it. 30 Newton meters on this, which is quite a lot. I don't think I'm even actually going to do it to that, to be honest. Oh, okay, well, I've done it to that. Happy days. So here they are, the lines are back in after all that time. I've just tightened that one up here. Might need to be nipped up a little bit. New lines, I don't know if you can see in there. There's all the connections, 30 Newton meters, and ready to be filled up with fluid. Hey guys, so that is the steering lines buttoned up. I've also put in that last plastic bolt there, which has secured that bracket there. And I've also sprayed the fittings with, I was going to say grease, I sprayed the fittings with wax. So that is that done. So now what I'm doing is I'm moving to the underside. This is the fuel tank. I put the straps on and everything and didn't realize that I forgot, where is it? The fuel tank cover. So I've got to take those straps off again and then fit the cover. So another thing that's worth pointing out working underneath this car is that everything is incredibly tightly packed in. So even just doing up these nuts and fiddling with these bits and bobs, these straps here, is incredibly tight work. I was having a little trouble getting these straps on, and one seems shorter than the other. And I saw here there are markings, L and R, so rechts und links. And it's always looking in the direction of the car, travel, I should say. So this is the right and this is the left, so I've got to swap them over. So it's usually the way with things that are built as precisely as this, that if it doesn't feel quite right and it doesn't quite fit, then it's not right. Okay, so things are coming together. I just swapped those straps over and it's looking pretty good under there. Now all I've got to do is connect up the rest of the suspension. I've got to torque up the subframe and the coffin arms and so on, just like I did at the back. So steering rack to subframe is 65 Newton meters. Oh, I don't like the feeling of that. I tell you, some of these torques, that one was fine, and then this starts to sort of give, and I'm thinking, that doesn't feel good. No, don't want to do it. Tight enough. 65 on that side and thereabouts on that side. So I know I've mentioned it a couple of times before in this series, but using the Bentley Publisher's Manual as a reference for all of these torque settings and the process of putting this together, it is really, really invaluable. Okay guys, so starting on the torque settings, the diagonal brace to the cross member and to the body is 100 Newton meters, which is a lot. Okay, so that goes to 100, but this one feels like it's starting to thread. Oh, I don't like it. 100, 100, 100, not 100. Okay, so corner plate. This is a corner plate to body is 100 Newton meters, and corner plate to cross member is 65. So I've got 65 set on here, and it's a 15mm bolt. Got to be careful with these threads on these alloy housings because they don't like being tightened up. Ooh. Oops, do it both sides. They tightened up nicely. And this one just doesn't like it, you see. There we go, 65. And now I'm going to do 100 on the other side there. 100. This side as well. And 100 on that side. So now I've got to mark everything. Okay, so I've done this one, this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one, this one, and did I mark that one already? That one. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with the suspension now. Okay guys, so it happens to the best of us, but I forgot the sway bar on the front. So that means I've got to take the corner plates out, and I've got to take the cross braces out. So pretty much everything I just put in. Don't you love it? A little bit. You can actually see how new this MO30 suspension is. Look, there's proof. New. Really hasn't had many miles. And here's a tip as well, don't put any kind of lubrication or any kind of preservative or copper slip or anything on these bolts, because they go into aluminium housing. It's just not good for them. You can't really torque them up very well. So I'm just taking all that grime off. I can put it all on there. How does this go in then? Up in there. Dirty actually. Now it can go up into position. Thank you. Is that right? I guess so. Right. Oh, okay. There you go. And then slide that back round there. Oh, cool. Okay, so bolts. Bottom nut is 16 mil, and so I think, no, 17 mil for the bolt behind. Ooh, very loose. I think I'm going to put some load on the suspension before I tighten up the rest of them. Listen, I got a couple of the torque settings wrong. So on this lower bolt, it is 46 Newton meters. On the top bolt, it's 85 Newton meters. And the bolts into the subframe holding the sway bar in at the front, they are 65 Newton meters. So 65, 85, 46. Okay, so now that I've got all of the bolts tightened up on the front and rear suspension, I'm going to drop the car down, put it on its wheels, and tighten up the hub nuts. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to take the front discs off, and I'm going to give them a clean up, put them back on, and it's actually probably more efficient to fit the calipers and the brake lines and everything, then drop the car down with the wheels on, and then tighten up the hub bolts. Okay guys, so pressing on with the brakes today on the 911, and I've got to make up some of these anti-vibration shims because you can see these ones have just rusted. I've got two good ones and I'm missing two. So I have, however, got all of the blocks or the studs for them. Missing one screw, but I'm just going to make up that now. Just got some, I think this is aluminium. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I'll give it a go. Okay, so I just drilled the hole, marked up and drilled the holes exactly the same size, and I also used a little bleed nipple and the original fitting to create those divots. Okay, so I got the first one finished. I quite like the aluminium actually, because when you tighten the bolts down, or the screws I should say, they sort of pull the aluminium closer to the those studs, whereas the steel is less forgiving and doesn't. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try this. I don't know what your thoughts are on using aluminium for anti-vibration shims, but I've certainly got a set now. not brilliantly made. I think what I'm going to do is just a prototype really. The next one I make is just going to be a little bit finer than that. Okay guys, so a little update. I haven't been doing much filming, but it's essentially just assembling the brakes, working on the rear at the moment, and then fitting them to the car. So I have essentially connected everything. At the back here, new Goodrich stainless brake lines. What I'm going to do first, before I put the transfers on the calipers, I'm just going to make sure that they hold pressure under driving conditions, because you remember I had to retap some of those threads, and yeah, same on the other side here. So really pleased with that, all looking very smart. It's so cool. And now what I'm doing is working on the front calipers. So I'm just retapping the threads as I go. I've already done this one, already put the new bleed nipples on there. So I've got a whole set of new bleed nipples, which I've done for all of the calipers. And on, oh, it's not focusing. I think on one of these, yeah, this one I had to rebuild with new seals, which I've got to press in there because they look like they're actually coming out. Let's check. Oh, yeah, I've got to do them on these as well. Yeah, so yeah, just rebuilding the calipers. Okay, I thought I'd just film that little bit actually. So I've just put the new seal on this brake piston. And I've also got some 80 brake piston paste, which I'm going to obviously smear around the piston. But before I do that, here I have my Auto Fen repair kit. And I'm not using all of it because I've got all of the seals from Porsche. I should check if they're made by the same people actually. That would be hilarious, because this was like 20 euros and just the seals alone for the front calipers was 100 euros. But anyway, Porsche don't supply this gasket here, which goes on the inside there. So I had to buy that separately. Let me just check actually. Make sure I'm putting the right one in, because there are two different ones. Oh yeah, okay, so it's the bigger one. Right, let's get a bit of paste on there. Hang on a minute. Yeah, so there's the old one. And that is, yeah, the same size, lovely. So just get this coated in the paste. Just plopped in there. Perfect. I'm just gonna grease in there as well. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, as I say, I'm going to grease this piston quite liberally actually, just all over like this. Perfect. Now I'm going to install it. Piston now. So where's me grease? There it is. Oops. Right, just put a bit in there. Got to be so careful not to drop these things. I tell you, it's better just to do it all in a padded room, to be honest. They're so expensive, and Porsche obviously don't sell them individually. There's not many parts to the caliper that Porsche sell individually, actually. So yeah, last one going in now. It's also worth giving the insides of the pistons a clean, because I didn't do that at first and then realised they're pretty dirty and caked up in there, so I gave them a clean out, actually with emery paper. It's got a bit of corrosion in there. So there we are. one front caliper finished. And when I say one, I mean the second one, because I've done the other one already. So I'll probably get them on the car today. Okay, so I've just put in my homemade vibration pads, and I'm just going to stick them to the brake pads using the same sealant as I used to seal the cylinder head. That should be fine because it's heat compatible, as it were. Okay, so I just wanted to put the front caliper on, and actually the bolts, which are M12 by 1.5 thread, they weren't going in too well. So actually I'm tapping this, or retapping this thread here, and it's there's a lot of gunk in there, so top and bottom. So I'm going to do that both sides. Yeah, so you can see, having just taken that out, how much crud there is in there. Okay guys, so I'm fitting the front calipers today. So yesterday I made them all ready, and now that the pads are glued to the vibration dampers, I can get them in. Discovered an issue here. So the brake line I got from OPC Dresden reaches to this connection here, but actually on my car, and I've just checked the footage going back, sorry, just hang on a sec, the connection is in this one, and that stands to reason, because if you put the brake line into that one back there, it clashes with this bracket here, which holds this water pipe in and doesn't fit. It's also not long enough. So Porsche have clearly supplied me, either they produced the part incorrectly or they've supplied me the wrong one. This might be the one for, I don't know, the C4S or the C4. So, which is annoying because I bought it ages ago, and it means I can't finish the job now. So I'm going to have to go back to Porsche, check that part number and see if they've given me the right one. Okay, so caliper bolts, 85 Newton meters. Do them in stages. So I've just checked old footage, and it's definitely an incorrect part. This end should be coming up through here. So I'm going to have to take this off and get Porsche to get me the right part, because it was them who specified and ordered it. And I will be able to do that next weekend. So, calipers on. Now I'm going to mess about with something very exciting, as you've seen already. The original GT3 front axle spacers, 5mm. Can't really see the part number, but I'll give these a clean up. Another very cool thing about this is you can use the same, you need extended M6 bolts here, or screws, countersunk screws to go in here. So I'm going to go and scour the workshop to see if I can find 4 countersunk screws which are extended. They need to be in total around 20 mil. So these are 12, I believe, so they need an extension. And I'm going to give these a clean up. So I'll do that now. Okay, 2 things that I wanted to tell you. First of all, never throw anything away, because I luckily don't throw things away. And I've just been scouring the workshop because I had one of these front brake lines, the original ones, but I just couldn't find the other one. I was thinking, crikey, did I really chuck it? And I found it at the top of a shelf in the bottom of a box. And the reason I want to keep it is, A, you can use them for a comparison, because firstly, one of the reasons I'm not very happy with these Goodrich braided lines is because the connections are very different to the original Porsche. First of all, the overall lines are slightly shorter. They're about, well, over 10 mil shorter, which isn't good. But secondly, the connection, it doesn't fit very well into the housing here, because it's slotted. These are slotted, and the original ones are also slotted. A bit rusty, but you can see that slot there, that little peg, but these ones aren't. So That's one not so good thing. But the other thing is, of course, that this protection here, this plastic protection, I don't know why it's not focusing. Oh my goodness. Doesn't come with the new lines. So what I've done on the other side is I took it off the old line and put it onto the new one, and it makes a much better impression with that on there. And yeah, as I say, I am going to do the same with this one now. Okay, so that took about 10 minutes to do. I gave it a clean up as well, and now that is on the new line. Okay, so as I just mentioned, these are the 5mm spacers, original GT3, Porsche part, and I picked these up on eBay for 100 euros, including shipping, and 10 of the original extended bolts. Now, some of you will notice or know that the GT3 extended bolts have a red collar. These ones have a black collar, but these are exactly the same as the GT3 version, but they're just from a different model. So I'm going to give these a clean up because they're a bit crusty, and these two, I'm probably going to clean up this here and give it a coat of silver paint to match the wheels. Okay, so I'm going to give them a bit of a rinse over as well because there's a bit of grease on there still, but that is looking a lot better. Indeed. So that's the back. See a bit of corrosion there, which actually I think I'm going to take down with the emery paper, and the bolt has come up quite nicely as well. Now I've just got 9 more to go. Before I fit these spacers, I'm just removing the screws which are holding on the disc to the hub, and retapping. Like everything with this car at this age, you just have to retap everything. So I'm going to do that, and then I've got the longer bolts there, which is really cool. Found some which fit perfectly, countersunk as well. I measured 22mm from the face of the spacer plate to the back of the hub. So 20mm is perfect. Okay, so as I say, I've cleaned them up and gave them a rub down with wet and dry just to take any nicks off. So let me get this on there. It's the right way round. I really like this concept whereby you clamp both of the parts to the hub. Really like it. Because on the back they haven't got that because they're not Porsche parts. And yeah, when you take the wheel off, the spacer comes off as well. So I like this much better. So let me get you in there. Woohoo! I like it. Look at that. I'm very, very pleased with that. They've cleaned up like new, really. And for a genuine GT3 part, very, very cool. I think I probably got them for about 1/3 of the price with the bolts. Right, I'm going to do that to the other side, and I'm going to leave it there for today. It's Mother's Day in Germany today, so we're cooking a meal this evening, and I'm going to clean up and go home for that. I'll see you next time.